Hey, welcome back. Okay, so we have 7 weeks to get a whole lot of stuff done, which means we can't waste any time. We're going to go ahead and do our draft of Essay 1 this week. You'll be able to look at the formal assignment sheet on Blackboard. However, I just want to give you a rundown through a video of what I'll be expecting. So first and foremost, this paper will be an informative paper, and I would like to preface that it's really important that you take Essay 1 seriously because Essay 2 and the final essay will build off of this one. I would like for you to pick any topic of your choice, which I know sometimes is a bummer because it's a lot easier when your instructor just tells you what to write about, but any topic of your choice within your given field. By that, I mean, if you were all in the nursing program, I'm assuming that your field is healthcare. So I would like for you to pick any topic within your field and write a 3 to 4 page paper that is informative. So that means you are not persuading me to believe anything. You are just simply telling me about this issue. So let's just say you are writing about, I don't know, there's so many things happening in the healthcare industry right now. Let's just say you're writing about the effect of the Affordable Care Act on patient care. Okay, you're not arguing for or against it. You're just simply saying, this is what is happening now that the Affordable Care Act is implemented, and here's how it is affecting patient care. So again, you are not for, you are not against. You are simply just telling me about it. Now, with that in mind, I want you to note that if you pick a topic that is very broad, you are doing yourself a disservice. So if we imagine our topic as, pie. Everyone likes pie. Or cake. Because actually I don't like pie. I do like cake. So let's say that our topic is a cake. And we want to write about just one little piece. We'll call that a slice, right? And you're like, so we're narrowing it down. So rather than talking about the whole thing, we're cutting it into a little slice. But still, that slice is a little bit too big. We need to cut it in half again. And then maybe that little half is still too big. We cut it in half again. So we do not talk about the entirety of things in our writing. We talk about a sliver of them. So let's say you're writing about the Affordable Care Act and patient care. Rather than talking about the whole issue of Affordable Care Act and patient care, maybe you just talk about prescription coverage. Just that small portion, right? So imagine, I always tell myself this at dessert, like, no, you can't have the whole thing. You got to cut that in half, like once, and now again, and again, right? That's how your topic is too. Do not overindulge in the entire issue at hand. Cut it down. If you have questions, you can email me. I'm always happy to give you a little bit of feedback to see if your topic is too big, too small, or so on. Most likely it is not too small for this class. As an example about this that isn't really related to your field, but I just like to use this one because it's relative to mine. So when I was finishing up my master's degree, oh my God, it's been like, I don't know, a decade ago. I don't know how it's possible. So when I was finishing up my master's degree, when I wrote my thesis, I didn't write about the entire book. I wrote about Wicked. I didn't write about the entire book, Wicked. I wrote about just one character, the Wicked Witch of the West. That's it. It's the only thing I wrote about, just that one single character. I didn't write about the whole book. I didn't write about a bunch of characters, just one. So it's the same thing here. Pick your topic, scale it back. I cannot emphasize that enough. Pick your topic, scale it back. One more time. Pick your topic, scale it back. Okay, so hopefully you understand that. On to some other details. Your paper must be 3 to 4 pages. Please do not write more than 4 pages. Please do not write more than 4 pages. I will not be reading anything over the 4th page, so don't even waste your time with that. The reason why is A, we have a limited time and I can't grade 10-page papers, but also it's really critical as a writer, especially in 2017 where attention span is like moving like this, that we can say exactly what needs to be said, be poignant, and really know what is effective in a short amount of space. It's critical. So 3 to 4 pages, no more. And with that said, no less. If you give me less than 3 pages, if you give me 2 3/4, 2.5, I'm not reading it. You cannot resubmit it. So 3 to 4 pages. I'm not asking much. Please do the full 3 pages. Again, the topic is of your choosing. I just ask that it's related to your field because I want to keep this whole discipline, this craft of writing, useful to you in some way. Let me check my notes here. You will need to implement research in this paper because remember, you still have to maintain some sense of ethos, logos, and pathos. You might not be trying to persuade me, but you still need to be credible. You still need to be logical. And even though you don't need to be highly, highly emotional, your emotion is being neutral and being informative. That is your emotion, informative, right? Your research needs to be scholarly. It needs to be academic. I ask that it comes from the UNCW library, from academic journals. If you need to contextualize something in popular media, that's fine if you use some popular sources. However, no Wikipedia. I don't want any about.com, no K through 12 websites. Everything needs to be academic. Remember, your audience is an academic. You're writing for your professor. So your resources need to match that. That goes right back to credibility and logic and knowing your audience. If your audience is a professor, you have to be credible and you have to be logical, right? So make sure you're using appropriate resources. Pay close attention to the elements of writing. In this case, I'm really specifically looking for ethos, logos, pathos. When we get into some later modules, we'll talk about intros and conclusions. You'll actually have more information about that as we get into revisions for your final essay. However, right now, I want you just to pay close attention to the basic structure of an essay. If you do not know the basic structure of an essay, I'm assuming that you do because this is English 201, so I'm under the impression that you have had 101. You need to look it up, okay? That's not something we cover necessarily in English 201. You will need to use MLA format. All of the information that you need to know about MLA format is available in this course on Blackboard. So you can go to the course homepage and go into the additional resources. There is a ton of MLA resources in there for you. I also recommend looking at Purdue OWL, OWL, Online Writing Lab. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Every time I talk to you guys, I'm like coughing or have the hiccups or something weird's going on. I'm sorry. But the Online Writing Lab, Purdue's Online Writing Lab, they have a lot of great information. They're sort of the leader in the online resources for MLA format. The other thing is I will be looking for is to provide textual evidence. If you do not provide textual evidence from your research, if you are not being credible and you are not being logical. So please make sure you are providing textual evidence. Okay, so on the assignment sheet, there's also a little section about hints. Do not use unreliable sources. Consider your audience. Stick to the purpose of the assignment. The purpose is to inform. Remember, number 1 rule, know your audience and know your purpose. Here it says go to the Writing Center. If you're local, you can go in, but even if you're not local, they take online submissions. The link to the Writing Center is available on the additional resources page on Blackboard in this course. So you can always send them your paper, they'll review it and send it back to you. They are not an editing service. They help you with structure, content, that sort of stuff. Again, pick a narrow, manageable topic. Okay, I want to remind you, it is your responsibility to ask questions if you have them. I am under the assumption that you understand everything I just said. If you do not, please ask me questions. Grading. This paper is worth 180 points, and the rubric is on the assignment sheet that is in Blackboard. If you scroll to the rubric, I like to think about it in 2 separate columns. So it has 2 columns. The left-hand side is sort of like your checklist. Like, did you do these things? You should be able to answer yes to all of them when you are finished your paper. The right-hand side, I like to call this, how much does my teacher care? I care about everything a lot. However, some things in writing are more important than others as we are learning. So for example, rhetorical knowledge is worth 45 points. I care. If you scroll down, critical thinking, 55 points. I care more. Writing processes, I care equal. Scrolling down, knowledge of conventions, 25 points. I care less. So this is sort of your way of deciding what's the most important for you to work on. All of it is important, and I will be looking for all of these things. But our writing process and our rhetorical knowledge, our critical thinking are the things that I'm interested in the most right now. Rhetorical knowledge is up there too. So when you're working on your paper, let's say you have 2 hours left and you need to decide, crap, I got to figure out what I need to work on. That's a good way of thinking about it. When I grade, I do not take points off for every single mistake you make. I take off points for things that are recurring errors that are most likely happening in every single thing that you write, not even just for this class. For everything that I take, for everything on the rubric that I check as needs improvement, it's 7 points off your total grade. So, but take comfort in knowing I don't take points off for every single thing, every single error. I don't expect your papers to be perfect. I'm looking for manageable ways for you to improve your writing, not just in this class, in everything that you do. So after watching this video, please make sure you look at the assignment sheet and the rubric. If you have questions, let me go. I'm always under the assumption that you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing unless you tell me otherwise. So ask questions if you have them. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.